Good morning. Another beautiful day on the road. It is 5:30 in the morning. I've already been up for a couple hours because I'm stupid. And, or am I? I went to bed early, got up early, early to bed, early to rise, all that wonderful stuff. I prefer to get up early and avoid the heat myself. It's now 65 degrees. And it will be in the 90s, almost 100 by the time I get there. So the sooner I get there, the better. Sorry you can't see me, but you're really not missing much. You've seen me before, right? Let's see. Left turn. I'm not using my GPS. I'm just talking to you guys. So, according to my GPS isn't on. I have about 9 hours left, not counting stops and what have you. So, let's have some fun. My brights are working. Yay. Oh, my camera's crooked. Well, I guess since you can't really see me, it doesn't matter, right? I could have put a little light there to glow a little bit, but who needs that kind of distraction? Let's get some speed under there, and we are rolling. What's the speed limit? Okay, we're doing 62 and a something. 70. Let's get up there a little bit. So this is, today's another test. Let's turn the camera on here. I'm just curious what happens if I try to record. If I try to record and stream at the same time, does it do it? Because the camera is almost like a separate module, but it's built into the same housing. My battery can last for 12 hours just talking, but I kill it in 2 when I use the camera. And the camera shuts down really early, battery-wise, on the Cena 10C, so that it could preserve enough battery life for using the, that's loose. Let's tighten that up. All right. I went to just adjust it a little bit, and it just moved like with no effort whatsoever. Yeah, so it turns it saves. Make sure you don't end up without a communicator. So you can guess you have about 2 hours of battery life on camera, but then you'll still be left with I would say at least like 6 or 7 hours. Once you run the camera down, you should still get about 5-6 hours of battery use with the communicator. I'm liking Cena products. I used Scala Rider and Cena, and at first I kind of didn't have a preference, but now I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe I still don't have a preference. But the fact that they make, the Cena makes a GoPro back for the Hero 3.4. So what happens is when you use your communicator like I am now, it will put your audio into your GoPro 3 or 4 directly. So that's how a lot of people stream. In my case, I don't have a Hero 3 or 4 like I'm doing right now. I'll do some more Hero 7. Like I used to put my GoPro here, and I stopped doing it because I didn't like the audio. So we're going to test that back on the Hero 7 a lot while we're in Florida. Because I don't always live stream. Matter of fact, I hardly live stream. But I figured I want to work it out because there'll be times where I'll want to. And I think I can work it out where I can live stream with the GoPro, as long as you don't try to live stream to YouTube directly. You could, like if you, was it RMTP? SM, whatever the numbers are. If you do it that way, you bypass the restrictions. So we'll try that later. I think that's how all these third-person softwares work. You go to art, or can't say it. But that makes me reconsider going to Zoom again. I stopped. I paid for a month of Zoom, and I'm kind of like, and then I was like, I downloaded this for free, or I think it was free. It might have been a couple of bucks, but it was nothing. It was like next to nothing or nothing. And OBS, what I'm using right now is OBS for iOS. And it lets me do a little graphics, which I like. So it has a uniform look, Mr. Andrew from Pusa Studios. So you can tell it's a live stream in the thumbnails. It has it has graphics. I can see the chat on the screen if my eyes are working. Like right now, if somebody chatted, I can see it no problem, but it's dark. But when it gets to the ridiculously bright sunshine, that ain't happening. What else? Like I said, it's quite editable. Not edible, but editable. So you see, like I put that splash screen across the bottom, my own graphics. It's definitely a nice piece of software for an iOS device if you want to live stream. Even if and it's the reason why at 355 subs I can stream live. That's how that works. Like I plan on doing an extensive video on this if people actually give a crap, but this is how you get by the 1,000 subs live. So, if you have your little iPhone, my camera's off. Oh, I never started to record. I turned the camera on, but I never started to record. I don't know if you can hear that. You probably could. Let's try that again. Turn the camera on. All right, camera's on. Wait for a little ding. There you go. And now I'll record because it's not a test unless you're doing it all, right? Beautiful day. I guess I won't be watching Ron Bell's... No. Not Ron Bell. Not Ron Lockwood. Rodney Bell's sunrise this morning. Pennsylvania, I can't listen to you talk. I can't. I like you. You're great, but you're a little too animated for me. I'm more of a laid-back, kind of quiet kind of guy. Although you have inspired me, because like I was saying yesterday, I am fat. I am the fattest I've ever been, and I don't want to be fat anymore. Well, let's rephrase that. I'd like to lose weight. That's what I'll be focusing on this trip, because we're better to exercise than, someplace where it's 100 degrees with 100% humidity. Exactly. Probably just do a lot of walking. Unlike Philly, I'll be doing it outside instead of inside, and I won't be videoing or live streaming that, because who wants to see a fat guy sweat? I know I don't. But that's the plan for this trip, is to drop. I have 2 months. It's a short one for a change. I'd like to see if I can drop 50 pounds in 2 months. And you're saying, well, that's a ridiculous expectation. Not when you're as big as I am. 50 is nothing. So in the beginning, you drop everything. It drops fast. So let's see what happens. On the ride down, I definitely ate better than I have been. Now I just have to stick to it. Let's lose some weight. Oop, I'm speeding. Let's put the cruise control on, and I talk about losing weight and I go faster. What's that about? See? Thin people. It's bad. Being thin's bad for you. Ah, it's nice. I put my windbreaker on over my jacket. That's like a motorcycle, my motorcycle life, which maybe since I am MotoVlogging, I can explain what I do, because as you all know, I'm a big guy. Fat, whatever you want to call me. My clothes are big, So packing for months on the road, you have to take some shortcuts. Like I can't take a summer jacket and a winter jacket. And, you know, I have to pack smart. So what I do is I have a mesh summer jacket, which is the yellow, the high-vis yellow thing that you saw me in yesterday, which is now my base layer. Usually my base layer. And then if it's a little cool, like now it's in low 60s, I'll put the windbreaker over it. If it gets a little cold, like in the 50s, then I'll throw my vest on. Actually, the windbreaker covers me into the 40s, to be honest with you. The windbreaker over it, because what happens is no wind gets through, and a nice warm pocket of hot air forms under the vented jacket, and it just kind of keeps you toasty. Now, when you get past that, I throw like a fleece on underneath the jacket, and still use the windbreaker, and that covers me good into the 40s, even to the 30s. And then once it gets down into the 30s, I start considering the heated gear. It all depends. Like if I'm on the highway like this, sure, heated gear. But if I'm just going like to work, like 10 blocks or something silly like that, I don't need it. It's not enough time to really lose any body heat. I don't get cold easily. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, I don't think I've used my heated gear now and like stopped carrying the heated pants, the heated socks, and the heated glove liners. At this point, I just carry the jacket because I haven't used any of them. I don't think I use that stuff unless I'm riding in single digits. And I've managed to stay in the parts of the country that don't have single digits. So there's that. But yeah, it's definitely a space saver. My summer jacket has a pouch in the back where you would stick the liner. So this windbreaker fits in that pouch. And we're like, well, why not just use the liner? Because the liner doesn't work as well. Because with the windbreaker above the jacket, it gets that hot pocket inside. With the liner under the jacket, you just kind of get sweaty. It doesn't breathe. It's not the same. So I can fit in that pouch, my back pouch, my jacket and my rain pants. Let me just say this jacket and my rain pants. So I always have them with me. So if things get bad, I have options. Although the bike, I usually have stuff with me anyway. But just say I decide that I'm like, when I get to a new assignment, I'm always like done with being heavy. Meaning the bike, not me. I'm always done with me being heavy. So what I'll do is, and I don't know where I'm staying, I'm kind of checking out the people I'm staying with. So I leave my hard boxes with all my valuables locked in my room, and just to make sure that nothing walks away. And once I start trusting people, then I start putting the boxes back in the bike. So it's nice that without any boxes, I can have my rain suit with me without it being like a hassle. Yeah. So like the first week or two at a new assignment, you'll see me riding around with no boxes, except maybe the top box, and in a backpack. And plus it feels good to have all the weight off the bike. And then when I start doing more, I'm going to tell you that my boxes, now that I started carrying the Canon M50 with me, an SLR or mirrorless, well, I don't even know what to call it. I don't like calling it mirrorless because I think it deserves a better title than that. Maybe an MSLR? I don't know. I call me whatever. See, single lens reflex, and then we had digital single lens reflex, and now we have mirrorless single lens reflex. But now single lens reflex. Now, does reflex refer to the mirror or a pentaprism, which is the top part of the camera where a bunch of little mirrors that bounce it around? So it's really hard to say. Single lens. Ooh, SLM. Single lens mirrored. I like that. I mean, coining phrases. It's not my thing, but you know, single lens mirrors. But anyway, it's a camera that uses many lenses. It looks like a DSLR. It feels like a DSLR. I like it better than a DSLR. Just because of the focus peaking. I mean, it does a good job, and I know a lot of YouTubers use it for videoing, but I like it. Honestly, I rarely shoot video with it. I'm all about taking pictures with it, and I love it. Love it. It's lightweight if you want it to be, but so I packed it, and it's pretty much taking up one of my boxes. And it's such a tiny camera, and you're saying, really? One of your boxes? But I also have like 6 lenses with me, and that's the lenses and that pretty much takes up one whole box of my thing. I forgot how much space that stuff takes up. I couldn't even bring my tripod. It was just too heavy. I said, I can't do it to the bike. Now, I really need to get a quality travel tripod, and if anybody has any recommendations, please. I'm not looking to break the bank here. I just want something I could put on the bike that's not going to weigh it down. It's not about size as much as it is about weight. My only tripod that I really have is from my studio, and it's big, and I broke it down and took everything off that I could, and the thing still weighs like 10 pounds, and it's just awkward and big, but I want something that's medium-sized to small, that's very, very stiff, so I can shoot my star pictures. That's another reason at the last second, I said I'm not going to need it where I'm going. The star, this isn't like, the light pollution in Florida is probably horrible, and if I do go out and I can always use the bike as the tripod, which is what I've been doing for years. So the tripod stayed at home. But if I was like, say if I was on my way to Montana, I would have made room for the heavy tripod. Just not needed. I don't think it's going to be used where I'm going. So that's what I did. Rest area, 1 mile. I've been talking for a while. How long have I been talking for? Ooh, 18 minutes. Me, by myself, with no one to talk to. Without anybody watching. Am I talking to myself or am I vlogging? Anyway, so we covered cameras and my jackets, and I think when it gets light later, we're going to talk about my helmet, because again, it's been slightly modified, obviously, for what we're doing, and I'm not saying I did anything that was like ingenious, but it definitely works for me, and the few people that I've shown it to in like around town and talked to, they were like, well, that's really smart. So, and it's combining a lot of my photography ideas and my CB radio days with my with photography and motovlogging. So it's like I'm a creature of many backgrounds, so I'm really good at combining ideas from different things that I've done. So this should be good. All right, kids. Maybe I'll do a Rodney Bell sunrise from the bike. Let's see how that goes. The problem is I'll be chatting. You might as well watch Philly Mike, because I'm going to be talking the whole time. Sorry, Philly Mike. I'm not using you as a whipping pole. just you talk so much. And you talk like you're from Philly. Some people find that great. I live there. I don't want to hear it when I leave. It's one of the best parts of leaving, is not hearing people talk like that. All right, enough of that. Be nice. I'm going to be nice. Just ride my bike.